Hello everyone, and welcome to the review of the DYU T1 e-bike. And from the start you can see that this bike has a radical appearance with a different type of frame design, which looks really great and has very sporty looking wheels, and everything looks like being from another story. It's not the common e-bike that you see everywhere. And I'm going to jump directly to the technical specifications. This is not only a great looking e-bike, but it's also a very smart e-bike, as it has a built-in torque sensor. It has a shifter, so you can select multiple gears. It's not a single speed e-bike. So this bike should ride really nice with the torque sensor and multiple gears. It also has large disc brakes, 160 millimeters, both front and rear. And it has also removable battery that makes it easy for you to take away with a key lock. And although this is foldable, you don't have to fold the frame to take the battery out. So these kind of details really make the bike more interesting. The more you look at this design, the better it gets. As you can see, this bike doesn't have any kind of visible welds. There are no joints seeable in any kind of position in any place, so you are not going to see that. Also, the frame where it folds almost invisible. You get this clasp here, and it has a very minimalistic lever here that locks it into position. You don't get that bulky type of folding mechanism that you get on other bikes. You just get this shaft here, but that's it. You don't have that big shiny lever. And because this is a DYU, it's a brand that I consider to bring on higher quality bikes on the market. They have small details that catch your attention, for instance, such as this locking protection here. So the lever for the folding handlebar, it's compact, it's small, it's not big, shiny, so it kind of blends in with the stem here. And you have this nice push button, which is spring activated. Looks nice, and red means something to take care of, so you need to press that. Same here for this locking. You have this small slider, and it says push, and it has an arrow, so attention to details. Then you have this silicone pad here, so when you unlock this, you don't want to scratch the frame, so this will go here and stop. So attention to details is key for this bike brand. Also here, where all the cables are going into the frame, we have a rubber garment, so they do not rub and break while you twist the handlebar. So another thing. Then you know that this type of folding bikes, some of them have a stand here, and when it's folded, so it should not stay on the pedals or on the chain ring. Well, this one doesn't have that metal part that makes a huge noise, scratches your floor, and so on. This one has a rubber stopper here, which can also folds. You can put it upward like that, or when you park the bike on it, you can put it down, so it's going to stay on that, so it's not going to scratch the floor, not going to make noise. As I've told you, attention to details. To further improve the ride comfort, because the bike doesn't have any kind of suspension, you get a seat post with suspension built in, and it's very good actually. It's going to soak up most of the bumps, and it's going to improve your ride quality. Another interesting thing is the minimalistic approach of the UI. It's a bike that doesn't have a big bulky screen, doesn't have a lot of information. You don't set anything to it, nothing. It's all done automatically. You just get this tiny, let's call it display. It's not a display, you just get the battery indicator here with just 3 LEDs and a button that works for turning the bike on or turning on or off the lights. And that's it. You have here a quick shifter with pedals, so you can quick change from one gear to the other, the accelerator, the brakes, and an integrated small bell, ring bell. But no buttons, no menus, no LCD screens, and you are not going to know the speed of your bike. And that's okay, because this somehow makes you ride the bike more relaxed and makes you to be more interested of what's happening around and at the traffic, and not staring at this LCD screen to see, oh, I'm doing 25, I'm doing 30 going downhill, I'm doing only 10. No, you're just going to ride and look at the scenery. The bike also folds really quickly, so you just take that lever out and this clasp comes out a bit, and just like that you are now folding. Put the kickstand up, put the damper down so it sits on there. And another nice thing here, as you see, all the wires that are going through the frame are protected into metal sleeving, so they do not rub here when you are folding the bike, and do not break the wires, and they do not touch themselves or destroy themselves. And just like that, the bike is now folded. Further on, the bike is designed that you can take the battery out really easy. Even if you have the seat post, even if it's folded, you are just going to put the key here in the key lock, unlock the battery, pull the lever here, and the battery now comes out. And as simple as that, you can take the battery with you without doing anything else to the bike. The powertrain and the drivetrain are working in synergy. With the torque sensor, you have a 7-speed gear set. Then the motor, clearly labeled here, 250 watts, fully EU legal, 36-volt battery, about 10 amp hour capacity. And this throttle, this is a discussion for this. So you know that throttle is not legal in some European countries. This bike comes with a plug here on the throttle cable. The throttle is included anyway, and it comes with a warning. So if it's permitted, you can install this and run it with the throttle. If it's not, don't install it. And it has a termination cap here that tells the bike that you don't have a throttle, and it's only going to work as an assisted bike, so 100% EU legal. So no throttle, 250 watt motor, 25 kilometers per hour. But you still get this as an added optional bonus, and if you are allowed to use it, you can install it and use this in full electric mode without anything else. Again, no need to do unlocking and various other things. You just put this on, connect it, and it's working right out of the box. Then it's time to start to actually ride it to see how this works out and how it performs. To get an idea how the bike dynamics are happening, I weight around 95 kilograms, so I'm rather heavy. And today I have a backpack that is a bit more heavy and has around 5 kilograms, so I'm rated for around 100 kilograms. So keep that in mind when I am accelerating and doing various tests, braking tests and so on. So the bike will perform that way with 100 kilograms of load. So when you hop on the bike, you don't have to do anything. You just turn it on. You need to press it on until all this goes up. Then it's now turned on. And as simple as that, you are going to pedal away. You don't have to set anything. You don't have to set the assisted mode, anything else. So the bike is working normally. But this is very interesting because it has a torque sensor and it's not a cadence sensor. The bike responds to your pedaling right away, instant. There is absolutely no lag. So when you firstly press the pedal, the motor starts right away assisting you. Again, because it's a torque sensors work by measuring how hard you are pressing the pedal. So if I want to accelerate fast, the motor knows that. And look at that, it simply jumps away at full power. But if I just want to pedal relaxed, save battery, enjoy nature, look for birds, then the motor will just hum away and help me. Also, there is no ghost pedaling because again, this is not a cadence sensor. I really hate ghost pedaling. Ghost pedaling is when you are just pedaling and the bike try to assist you and assist you with more motor power than you are pedaling. So you practically just mimic pedaling because the bike will do the whole work for you. It's not happening with a torque sensor. The bike knows exactly what you are doing and adjusts to that. So you can save power, you can ride this sporty, everything. And again, you don't set anything, the bike knows and responds in the correct manner. And now let's also test the gear. So I'm in the lowest, first gear, so I can start very easy from standstill. I think that this bike starts so easy that I can actually ride it without battery. So I'm going to turn the bike off. It's now off. I'm in first gear and now I'm riding the bike with no battery and I can go even higher. Well, this feels so fine. I'm already in 4th gear, 5th gear. This ride's so easy and it coasts so nice. It's just like riding a normal bicycle. So you can actually save a lot of power if you don't turn this on. But it doesn't feel heavy like an electric bike. You don't feel any kind of drag. It probably has a geared motor with a one-way clutch. So that means that when you are not putting power to the motor will disengage and it's not going to add any magnetic hogging or dragging, because it's the only way I can explain that this bike rides so easy with no power and it just coasts so nice. So really good job on that also, because you can ride it with no battery. Oh, I can go even in 6th gear and I'm getting some speed. The bike still performs great and I'm not in a physical shape to pedal very fast, but this bike simply rides easy. And I'm in 7th gear again. This works superb. Another nice thing about the torque sensor is that now, even if I'm in 7th gear, if I start and press the pedals, the bike knows that I'm putting too much effort and it tells the motor instantly that you need to give me as much torque as you can, because the user doesn't know what he's doing. And you can hear the motor humming and I'm pedaling very easy. And I'm telling you that I already was closing to 25 kilometers per hour. As you can feel, the motor is starting to reduce the power when it's reaching speed limit. Comfort is also very good because of the seat. It feels actually incredibly good. As the seat post will take most of the bumps out, and you mostly feel them at your hand level on the handlebar. You are not going to feel them in your rear soft parts. So it's actually really nice, not sophisticated like a full suspension, much more lighter than a suspension, but works pretty nice. So the seat post is a big plus, having suspension built into it. And now let's do some top speed. So I'm doing 25 kilometers per hour because I can hear the motor stop buzzing, so it's no longer assisting me. To get to the top speed, you reach that very fast, as the bike has very good torque. The motor really has good grunt. And also let's do a brake test. So the brakes, even though they are cable brakes, regular cable brakes, disc brakes, they work really nice, and they have full-size levers which give you good grip, and you can actually adjust the braking power. So the brake work really nice and progressive, so you can control exactly how much speed you want to lose and how fast you want to do that. And now let's also test the accelerator. So, oh, this is interesting. So just listen to that and try to look at my finger. What I'm trying to show you is how nice this works, and it doesn't have any delay. So when you are pressing it, the motor simply jumps to life, and in a few seconds you are going to reach the top speed that the bike permits, the dreaded 25 kilometers per hour, because this is in Europe. So right away you can get to 25 kilometers per hour using just the throttle. And now another test that I'm going to do. So I'm going to go lower gear. This is on the camera, you are not going to see this right. You can see here maybe the difference of the height. This is a ramp, very steep ramp. I don't know its exact grade, but that thing here has several meters. It's several meters high, about 10 meters in just about 10 meters, so you make the math. So the bike will go downhill because I'm the bottom of the ramp and it's already up. So I'm going to try to go uphill without using the throttle, just by pedaling. I'm in second gear, I'm not even in the first. So the motor has kicked in and I'm going up very, very easy in second gear. So in first gear, probably even more easier to do that. And now somehow I ended up doing off-roading with a bike intended for city use. Again, this is actually nice because of the seat post suspension. It performs even better than expected, and the brakes are working nice even on this kind of terrain that was simply nice. And I want to do another test. It's the rattle test, and as you can see, and actually here you don't hear anything else, just the noise of the wheels jumping and the contents of my backpack. So the bike is also well built. It doesn't have any squeaky, rattly noises. Everything is held up properly, so it doesn't have annoying noises that again are happening on some bikes that need constant things to be screwed on or adjusted, so you don't hear them anymore when you are riding. On a hot summer day like today, it's just brilliant to have the accelerator installed, as you no longer need to pedal. You are still in nature and you are getting cooled by the air breeze that's going around you. Absolutely brilliant and relaxing. So you can actually ride more with this way, even when the weather is not appropriate for bike riding. As you can see, it's kind of deserted around, because at this temperature of around 38 degrees that we are having right now, it's not the greatest weather that you should be pedaling in, and you can get sick rather fast at this level of extreme heat. Another thing that I like very much is how the bike gears are working and how well they are chosen, because this bike has a lot of gears, 7 to choose from. The lowest one will help you get uphill even on very steep ramps, while on the 7th gear you can actually pedal from standstill because the motor has a lot of torque, and this can also take you up to 25 kilometers per hour, the intended build speed of this bike, and you can do 25 kilometers per hour without actually pedaling too fast, and that makes it really nice and relaxing. And you can take this for short rides, long rides around the city, and even do a bit more with that, because having all those gear ranges. And because it's too hot, we are going to search for some shadow, and this way we are going to test the bike for some off-road capabilities, because simply why not? Because this bike is not intended for such kind of usage, but as you can see, it's behaving perfect. So even if you get off the beaten path, you can still enjoy this bike. The accelerator works brilliant on this kind of terrain, as well as you can pedal it, because the torque sensor is going to take care of the road surface. So if it's rough and the bike advances more slowly, it's going to give you more power. And you also have the gears to play with, so you can always choose a level that you want to pedal at, making the experience even more pleasurable. The seat post suspension is again doing its job really nice, and it filters out the rough terrain, and that makes you have a bit maybe too much confidence, and you are going to start to tackle terrain that you should not. But again, the bike performs better than expected. And now it's time for the final conclusions. You have seen the bike, how it runs, how it performs, how it looks, and what's my opinion on it when it rides. So I must say that I like several things very much on this bike, especially the motor. Although rated like all normal e-bikes, 250 watts, EU certified, it has a lot of torque. I will be sincere, I have forgot the number of Newton meters for it, but from my experience, with my weight, with my backpack, it actually pulls uphill really good and accelerates very fast. It gives you a lot of assistance when you are pedaling, so the torque assistance also works really nice with this motor. When you start off, you can be even in 7th gear, highest gear, and the motor still has enough power to help you get up to speed without actually changing gears, which I find amazing. So as small as it is, it has a huge torque when it comes to helping you. I also like very much the idea of not having anything here, no buttons, no displays, nothing to adjust, no modes, nothing. You just hop on this bike and everything works. You pedal harder, the bike knows, and it's going to help you more. You want to do a gentle ride, the bike will ease down and help you just a bit. It knows what you are doing. It's very smart doing that, and you don't have to adjust anything, just the gears, so it's easy for you to pedal. Then I also like that the accelerator works with the assisted mode, again not changing anything else. So you just use the throttle or the pedals, the bike knows what you are doing, and you don't need to change the mode from electric to pedaling or something like that. They fully coexist and work together. Very nice. I also like the seat because it's not those very thin sporty ones. This has a lot of padding even here in the top part, so it's going to protect your soft parts. And with the suspension, really improves ride quality a lot. From a bike that has no suspension, this is by far the most comfortable one due to that. I also like the clean design. You only have wires here and they all go through the frame, and you are no longer going to see them, just where they exit here in the rear. And if you take a peek here, you can see some really nice metallurgy, as these arms here have widened parts underneath and here, and the wires will catch onto those parts so they do not hang out. So they are under this, and they have specially designed holes so they get through them, and it has places for zip ties to keep everything tucked in, so they just come out where they're supposed to, and they have clips here to hold them nicely. They don't have ugly visible zip ties. Well, they use some of them, but for instance, another great thing here is the motor plug. So if you have a flat tire, it's very easy to change the rear tire, because you no longer need to disassemble half of the bike to disconnect the motor so you can take the wheel out to change the tire. You just unplug here and you take the motor out. Just cut the zip ties so you can work on it. So really nice, really well thought. I also like the mudguards because they are not those sporty types that are just like this and they do nothing. All the dirt still goes on you. So they are almost full size, and they are made from very easy plastic, and they are not going to rust, and they don't make any rattle noises when you are pedaling. You also get a pretty decent headlamp with an LED, and it also has a lens, and it also has a reflector, which is mandatory in some European countries, and you get mandatory side reflectors on the wheels, on the pedals, everything is right. You have the mandatory red reflector here, and you also get a LED lamp that I have forgot to install when I did the installation video. Sorry about that, but you can see somewhere here there is a video dedicated for assembling the bike, and I showed there the LED lamp. As for the cons, I could not find something. You know that I have a motto saying that there is no perfect product, at least they need something to be improved. I cannot find something bad on it. but I'm going to mention something about this seat post, because this has a built-in suspension. It's different from other seat posts, and the seat post is very short, so minimum insert is already here, which leaves just a bit to enter in. So you have here kind of adjustment and thing going on, but this is very short, so the space here is a bit more, but there are some visible wires in there. You could install a bit longer seat post if you have taken care not to go fully in and crash something inside. If you are a very tall person, you are probably going to modify this and you are going to search for a longer seat post. So that's the, let's say it, a con, not a real con, but a note of a thing that could be maybe improved in this bike. So that was it for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Be sure also to check here somewhere where there are several other videos with DYU bikes and with this model, and you can see this running without me talking all the time. You can see how to set up it when you firstly get it and some other stuff related to it. Until then, see you and bye bye.